Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Today is Monday, July 1st, and the Board of Commissioners meeting is officially in session. We're going to stand. Commissioner Bardsley is going to pray, and then Commissioner Wright is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Shall we bow in an attitude of prayer? Gracious God, Heavenly Father, as we come to you at the beginning of this new week, new month, we thank you for your love and your mercy that endures forever. For those, as we celebrate freedom this week, we pray for those who are on the front lines of confrontation and protecting us around the world. We pray for our troops and our service people, that you will bless them and keep them safe and their families. Give us wisdom as we continue to do the work of the local community. May your name be exalted, and may we always seek to follow you. I pray it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Please face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, all commissioners are present. Welcome back, Commissioner Wright.
Thank you.
We will move into approval of claims, minutes, and payroll. We have a pre-approval given by myself on 6/24/24. General Fund, $216,210.86. Other was $473,074.13. Highway Department, $215,430.42. For a grand total of $904,715.41. Again, that pre-approval was given, so I'm looking to just ratify that pre-approval, please.
Mr. President, I would move that we ratify your pre-approval.
Motion by Commissioner Wright, second by Commissioner Bardsley. Is there any questions or discussion about that? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved. For today, July 1st, 2024, I'm looking for an approval. General Fund, $189,616.52. Other, $32,079.12. Highway Department, $1,778,194.15, for a grand total of $1,999,889.79. Any questions or discussion about claims for today?
Move to pay the bills for this particular invoice edit report.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Bardsley, second by Commissioner Wright to approve claims for 7/1/2024. All those in favor say aye, please.
Aye.
Aye. We will move on to payroll number 13. Pre-approval was given on June 18th, 2024 for pay dated June 21st, 2024. Gross amount was $640,845.38. And I'll look for a motion to ratify that, please.
Mr. President, I would move that we ratify payroll number 13.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Wright, second by Commissioner Bardsley. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It is carried. We have minutes to approve for May 6th, 2024. Is there any further discussion or questions about the minutes for that date?
Move to approve May 6th minutes as presented.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Bardsley, second by Commissioner Wright to approve minutes for May 6th, 2024. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. They are approved. We have the monthly report submitted by the clerk of Grant County Circuit and Superior Courts. Is there any questions or discussions about that before we show that as received?
No, sir.
It is received. We will move on to communications and board updates. Madam Auditor, I skipped over you last time. Do you have anything?
No, nothing.
All righty. Moving around the room. Mr. Jackson.
Morning.
Morning, sir.
I don't have a lot to report today. Weather looks excellent today. We do have some activity scheduled later in the week that doesn't look so good. So there's a chance of rain for both of those days, but we'll watch that. Right now, nothing severe, but we'll keep an eye on that. Our normal monthly briefing will come out today, list of committees and meetings that are happening. Cybersecurity meeting going well, so we're glad to have you back. So that's important for lots of reasons, but they are finally getting their legs under them, making some headway with that.
Good.
Questions?
None from me.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Middlesworth, I see our council president and commissioner-elect is with us. Anything to chime in? All right, thanks for being here. Anybody else that I missed? All right, we will move on to IT department.
He is on vacation today.
Okay, you're not in his stead?
I will partially,
All right,
but not in that committee.
gotcha, yeah. Do you have anything for us today, sir? Okay, great. Highway department, Mr. White.
Good morning.
Good morning.
A couple things to bring up. Sorry, I'm gonna go ahead and jump ahead on the covered bridge certification, if that's right.
Sure.
We have it down on the agenda later, but you guys, just saying, basically, the county has one covered bridge in the county. We get about $1,700 a year from the state for having that, so.
Is that for maintenance or?
Yeah, just, it goes in its own covered bridge account, it just stays there. I think the last time I looked, it was almost up to 20,000 for maintenance and everything else. So.
That's in the Matthews area, correct? Is that the one? And then, I mean, has there been any study on that bridge lately or anything like that?
We've tried to do some maintenance on it here lately, we're gonna have to probably do some more here soon.
Okay.
It's starting to show its age, so last time it was redone was in '99, I believe, so. We have to probably look at doing some updates on it and stuff.
Okay.
You just need this sign, sir.
Yeah, just saying that you accept there's only one covered bridge in Grant County.
Not to hijack your update, do you want to take on new business number 6 as well?
Just him and then I'll send it your way.
That's for the Popcorn Festival for family.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
You have more knowledge than I do if they have any questions.
This is just,
Slide that to Justin when you're done.
for the Popcorn Festival, they always use our county road to get around, when they have State Road 5 closed. It just needs authorization. Say it's all right with you gentlemen, it only needs 2 signatures if they use that while the bridge Popcorn Festival is going on. So.
Trade.
Angie needs to sign that too. Next page there.
Two commissioners. Okay.
You want to sign them?
I think Vice President,
Okay.
Next I had to bring up is this is for a contract agreement between Milestone Contractors and Grant County Commissioners on Bridge 84. They were the low bid for the community crossing grant that we just received bids on last meeting. And basically this is just saying they have awarded the contract for the amount of $597,867.97. So
Which bridge was that again?
Bridge 84, the one over 38th Street, over the river.
Okay.
So, really, you guys cover it's just a contract between us and the contractor. It's really nothing.
We've already approved this contract, we're just signing
We're
off.
just signing off on it. Okay.
For that $500,000 with Bridge 84, we going down to the deck? Remind me what we're doing on that.
We're doing the hydro demolition like we did on Washington Street,
Okay.
where we blasted it all up and then we put a new overlay on it. We are doing some other repair works on the ends underneath where the approaches are and everything.
Okay.
Some other information I'm bringing up is we did get our wall removed that you allowed us to do, and we've got all of our front offices, I'd say 95% painted, so trying to get everything put back together, so appreciate all that, allowing us to do that, so. We've got about 15 miles of chip seal to do out of 65. We're down in Liberty right now, so hopefully we'll be completed by this week, before 4th of July, so that was our goal, so. Started cleaning the log jam out today down by Highland Avenue Bridge, so we'll be working on that the next week or two with Dave's excavating, getting down to Branson and everything else. He's gonna work that way as he goes working for the city too, so helping them out, so we're working on that. And one other thing I had to bring up is I'm still working on the budget. I know I was supposed to have it in last Friday, but I'll try to get it in this afternoon just to update you gentlemen on that, so.
On the Highland Avenue Bridge, are you seeing any more debris there than normal since the dam's been taken out or not?
We had one big log this year that kind of stopped everything up. I don't know if the dam wasn't there, if it would have made it that far.
Gotcha.
But if it wouldn't, it probably would have got stuck in the dam area and then they'd have to clean it out there. But,
Yeah.
so, about normal on Branson Street, I know it's,
As far as it causing any extra damage or anything like that? Not.
no.
Okay.
That's all I have, unless you gentlemen have.
Nothing from me.
No. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We will move on to old business, ARPA fund request. Pam Harris.
This is the same thing you guys have in the package. This is just a little easier to read if you want that.
Good morning,
Morning.
and thank you again for letting me come to you. I just had a couple thoughts. I am in the quickly approaching the second half of my second term. This is a project that has been a great concern of mine since I took office in 2019, and now I see an opportunity for this to be taken care of, and not knowing what the clerk who's going to come after me, what their priorities may be, I would really, really like to have this project completed when I leave office, and it's a big project. I know you're having a joint session with the council, and I am so glad that President Middlesworth is here to hear what Mr. Pope, his thoughts. I will be at a conference in Terre Haute, and I won't be able to attend, and I understand it's going to be like a 3-minute presentation. So I'm getting glad that Mr. Middlesworth is here, and I would like to present Mr. Doug Pope. Thank you.
I don't have a presentation today. We kind of went through that at the last meeting that I attended. We did hand out a revised proposal. And the only changes that were really, there were two primary changes that increased the proposal. There were boxes of probate that I thought, when I originally did my estimation, that Family Search was doing those, because in most places that I've been, when Family Search has been called on, they do marriage records and probate. The lady that's doing the scanning over there was there, and I talked to her about that, and there were many boxes that she said, no, they're not doing, so I needed to add those to her proposal. The other primary change in it were in some of those old large books, there is one stand, there's big roller stands there that those books are housed in, and when taking one of those out to inspect it and see how many pages and what type of information it was, I noticed that there was a whole other level behind it that I didn't see the first time I did it. It was 2 deep instead of 1 deep, and you can't even see that if you don't until you pull the book out. And that's the primary change. And with that, I'm comfortable and confident in the estimation. I don't try to be high, I don't try to be low, I try to be accurate. And accuracy with this size of a project can be, I would say, 10% high or 10% low. And I guess to back that up, we did, and I mentioned, I think when we met the last time, that we did this similar project for the Grant County Sheriff back in late 2018. And so I went back and looked up those records and what was the estimation and what was the actual billing for that. There were 2 orders that we did that combined in 2018. The estimation was $116,878. Actual came to $110,729. So we were less than 6% off, and it was actually in the county's favor that we were slightly or 5% high on our estimation. So I guess I would consider that kind of a pilot project because it's very similar records. It was court case files, which that's the bulk of what's over in your storage unit over there. So I'm happy to answer any questions about what we do, how we do it, why Pam has chosen us as the vendor. I know you've got other estimations, but I'm happy to back up our numbers with any question you have.
I don't have a question for you, sir. Thank you for coming. I do have one for Ms. Harris, though. So just theoretically, you're asking for 1.2. So, and I'm just curious if theoretically, if the commissioners and the council get together and they say it's a project we want to support, however, we can't do the whole full 1.2, let's just say, and I'm just throwing a number out, they say 800,000. Do you have any money to kind of throw in, throw into the project to?
Next, with maybe some of my perpetuation.
And I don't know what that balance of the fund is right
I
this
don't
time.
either right offhand. You know, that is a slight possibility.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Double
What
check.
about your 4D funds? Would 4D,
I'd have to, I'm not sure how much, we have to check in to see how much of that it would be 4D documents. So.
One last thing that I would add, because I know it's come up in a couple of the meetings you've had that I've viewed and what Pam has answered. You've asked in the past, what is her plan for the project? And now she stated she would like to get this done by the time she leaves office in 2.5 years. And we can complete the project in that time frame. If it's the whole project, and obviously if it's less than that, we could obviously do that. Because if I know ARPA funds is what's being requested, and that has to be appropriated, I believe, this year and used by the end of 26. And so it's important to know that we can complete the project for those funds. And we are registered and in good standing with SAM.gov, which we need to be for those federal funds.
I don't mean to be start here disrespectful in any way, but when I think of ARPA monies, if I'm understanding the Chronicle correctly, that were awarded to Gas City for an event center, I think this is far more important than an event center. This is our history, this is our stories, this is who our towns, our streets, buildings are named after the people who settled this area. They put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and love into this community, and I think this is a very, very important project for us to take on.
Any other questions?
Anything else? Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, moving on. We will move on to new business. We have Dale Davis, hopefully. Dale, are you online?
I am.
Okay, perfect. I think you're up. I think you have the next two topics, I believe.
Okay. I do not have the agenda in front of me. Which item is up first, sir?
Okay, the scoping agreement for the jail project.
Okay.
I think you have
Working
a small update for us.
Oh, yes. Working to schedule the interviews with BW and Garmong, trying to find a time that works for yourself and the other two members of the jail committee, being the sheriff and Councilman Mike Scott. So trying to get everybody arranged there so we can make a decision and move forward in short order. The other item on the agenda is the modernization project for the elevator. So the value of that project is going to trigger this having to be a public bid process. So today we have everything ready to go, but today I need a motion from you all authorizing Connor Souls and Justin Sadoff and myself to move forward with crafting and issuing that.
You just need that in the form of a motion, is that correct?
So you
Yes.
just need that in the form of a motion and then us to vote on it and approve it, correct?
Correct.
Any questions for Mr. Davis as far as that goes?
We've known that this modernization has to take place. It's been part of the discussion for a year and a half, 2 years easily, and we need to get it done. I would make a motion that we approve the moving forward of the modernization project as presented.
I'll second that.
Got a motion by Commissioner Bardsley, a second by Commissioner Wright to approve the elevator modernization project and to move that into the public meeting phase. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. So what we're going to do now is we're required to have 2 public notices that this is going out for bid. We'll also publish it on Building Connected through Envoy's account as your owner's rep here. And we'll get those bids in. We'll have to have a bid opening there at the county. And once we've satisfied all those requirements, we'll be able to award and move forward with the project.
Okay.
So just a clarification, this is using ARPA money. The council has approved using this. So everything's been done procedurally, correct?
Just remind me, we've already attached this to the original ordinance, the spending program, the amount.
Is Connor on?
Connor is not on.
I thought we did.
That and the ambulance purchase?
Yeah,
I believe you did. I'll double check.
we made that motion, sent it to the council. Council approves, it appropriates the money. And
Right.
that, I want to say 1.3 million was appropriated for that purpose.
Okay.
That's just lingering
Yep.
ahead, the
Yep.
amount, but
1.2 for ambulance, 650,000
For the elevators.
okay, that's,
Yep.
so we've done
Yep.
the requirements of the federal government. Just want to make sure we were there.
Yeah, that's why I was questioning, just to make sure that we've got all our ducks in a row, spending the money right, I's dotted and T's crossed.
Yep.
And none of this gets clawed back.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
That's correct. So, motion by Commissioner Bardsley, second by Commissioner Wright. All those in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Hey, Dale, just hold on real quick, because I want to summarize the jail. And I just want you to keep me honest or correct me if, I just want to summarize real quick for those in the room in case they couldn't hear. So the jail committee that's comprised of myself, Sheriff Garcia, and County Councilman Mike Scott, we decided, so there's two companies that have thrown their hat in the ring on wanting to be selected, Scarmong and BW Construction. And so we've decided to interview at some point. We decided to bring those two companies in to interview them and then make the decision on which one we're going to go with. So, and what Dale was saying was we're looking at dates to do those interviews. So is that correct, Dale?
Yes, that's correct. Thank you.
Anything to add to that, or does that pretty much summarize it?
That summarizes it. Once the committee is able to interview these developers, the selection will actually be made by the commissioners. So that committee will give a recommendation to the commissioners through myself and through you, Mr. Stewart. And then we'll move forward with the scoping agreement, which will allow us to scope and design what we're actually going to do with the facility.
Okay. You guys have any questions for? Okay. Thank you, Dale. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Moving on, up next, presentation of ARPA fund request for Jonesboro. Mr. Clayton Soltz.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for having me. Clayton Soltz, representing the Jonesboro City Council. I'm also the City Council representative on the Grant County Area Plan. As you know, we have several older buildings in Jonesboro, 3 in particular. There are 2 on the 400 block of Main Street that currently the Area Plan Commission has court orders to take them down, but it's beyond the scope of the funding and the local ability to get those buildings down because of how tall they are and adjacent other buildings. And then the old J.C. Knight School there in the south of Jonesboro that need to be taken down. I know you've previously heard requests from Kings Academy to get J.C. Knight building down, which is a several $100,000 project, and I don't necessarily want to undermine that if you find it in the funds, but I understand, realities and strategic realities. But Jonesboro and Kings Academy are kind of wanting to come together since we both have demolishing buildings we need to demolish. And if the city of Jonesboro takes over the property, which we intend to do, we have the opportunity to apply for an OBRA grant from the state. Grant County just recently got awarded a grant from them for the comprehensive plan, and we kind of want to use some of that momentum and those connections to get that done. And my request today is $75,000. Again, the project will probably end up being $400,000 to $500,000. We're hoping the majority of the rest of that will be covered by the OBRA grant. We'd be happy to ask for more if you can find more, but this is probably realistically the lowest amount that, we want to be respectful of the county's funds and time to make this happen. There's several things that need to happen. I think you saw an email. Things have changed somewhat since then. My intention was to have a portion of the set aside to move the electrical service first. One of the biggest logistical concerns right now is the electrical service for the currently running private school is through the old building. I was originally going to ask specific $50,000 to go towards that, but in the city council, when I asked for this, we had a few of our engineers say they want to look at that. They wanted to see maybe lower bids, or we wanted to maybe look at different grant administrators, see what their strategy was for it. So none of it would be specifically earmarked. This would be to this Council of Jonesboro for the demolition project and for matching funds essentially for the OBRA grant for us to try and get that accomplished. So I don't have any pictures with me today, but I think the pictures have been floating around. I know Mr. Wright was at a meeting with us talking about this. We just wanted to make the formal request, like the Madam Clerk said, for the joint session. So Jonesboro is approximately 2% of the population of Grant County. I hope that you honor us by us coming with us, trying to come as small as we can to try and see what you can do for the city of Jonesboro. And percentage-wise, that's less than our percentage of the population. And another thing I want to assure you is that this isn't just, oh, we're getting rid of Old Blight because we're a dying community. Things are turning around in the city of Jonesboro. Kings Academy is growing. They're looking to expand. Jonesboro, we just got a new pavilion. We have a green space that's going in right next to one of the buildings that's falling down. We need to get down to. We got a grant that's free to the city of Jonesboro. We have a new little park coming downtown. We have people applying for building permits for businesses in downtown Jonesboro. We have, there was something else I was going to say that I've now forgotten, but I think this could really be a turning point for the city of Jonesboro, but we just need to get some of these old buildings up. Oh, the new water plant. We have a new water plant we spent several $1 million on. That's right next to the old J.C. Knight building. It's far enough away that it's probably fine, but it's certainly a blight to look at, and a safety concern. If there were to be a collapse, we'd have trouble getting workers out there and working underground or cleaning things up around that area. So this is not just a dying community, let's take care of the corpse. This is, let's make room for the new growth that's happening so we don't have to work around it. So I hope you consider our request, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Yeah. Love the excitement.
Thank you.
It's good.
I've got the next, hopefully, 60 or 70 years to live in Jonesboro, so I wanted to look as good as I can, be as good as I can.
Worst case scenario, if we were to give ARPA funds, but the Okra didn't come through, how much can you get done with the 75?
Well, that's what I'm hoping, and I'm speaking for myself. This would have to be approved by the parties involved. But my hope is, worst case scenario, we don't get the Okra, we can at least have the electrical funding moved. The electrical service moved so that the city can continue to function. There's 75 employees that work there. The vast, over 90%, I think something like 95% of their funding comes from the state funding. It's not like these are trust fund kids who are paying for private school. I mean, the state of Indiana is paying for these children's education. And that would mean a shutdown right now. If there were to be a roof collapse, even if it was non-catastrophic, if it collapsed into the conduits, if it collapsed into the electrical service, that'd be a shutdown. That'd be a big problem for Jonesboro. So, if that wasn't approved by the city council, for some reason the Kings Academy wanted to go away, go a different direction if Okra didn't come through, one of the buildings on Main Street should be able to be taken care of for the $75,000 to $90,000 range, we're hoping. So we'll be able to accomplish something by this money. Hopefully it's seed money so that the state can come in with the rest and take care of all of it, but it will be wisely spent towards this project one way or the other.
Okay.
And the last thing, all the parties involved, the school and the city of Jonesboro, and hopefully the community foundation, a few other community groups, are talking like we should be able to spend a couple dozens of thousands of dollars towards this project. I mean, it won't be just the county council and commissioners paying for this completely. I mean, Jonesboro is motivated to do this. Kings is motivated to do this. I have donors that I think I should be able to get several individuals to get 10 or 15,000 from individuals. So I'm hoping as a community we can come together and get this done. Because it seems like no matter where you look, you can find $50,000 or $60,000, but that's not enough to do any of these things. But if we can partner together, hopefully we can get things done we couldn't accomplish separately.
Definitely a worthwhile cause, that's for sure. So, Mr. Middlesworth, did you have any questions for Clayton while we have him here?
I think just summarize that it's 75,000, which could possibly be a matching grant through Okra, correct?
Correct. Well, that was my initial plan, but again, in the city council meeting, there's another grant administrator that Jonesboro's worked with. Apparently the council also wants to consider. But yeah, we'll either be working through Mr. Kleinsteeder or Amy Miller, who is, I think, with Ice Miller, and we've worked with them before. There is a cap at $500,000 for the grant. Part of this ask is I'm concerned that the total cost of the project might come up a little bit over $500,000. It might be $550 or $600, especially with the requirements. The wage rates you have to pay to use the grants is maybe somewhat higher than you would just looking locally. So there's that part of it too. So the reason that, the council might, the commissioners and council might have to put some in as well as from the community is if the project were to come in over the cap of the grant, this would cover anything over the cap of the grant.
We good? Thank you, Mr. Schultz.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, appreciate you coming. Up next, we have Matthews Public Library Board appointments. Matthews Public Library has submitted the names of Pamela King and Sharon Butler to be appointed to their library board for a period of 4 years. And that date will end on June 30th, 2028. So we just need to approve that.
Make a motion to appoint Pamela King and Sharon Butler to the Matthews Public Library Board for a period of 4 years with their recommendation.
Support. Motion by Commissioner Wright, second by Commissioner Bardsley to approve Pamela King and Sharon Butler to the Matthews Public Library Board. Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 So moved. Finally, we have a statement of concurrence for Van Buren, Justin Sadoff.
You guys already did that. David White.
Oh, we did. I got to check it off. Yes, sir. All right. Well, we moved through that pretty quick. We will move on to public comments. If I can find my sheet here. At this time, the public is invited to speak before the board. Please approach the podium when recognized by the president. State your name and address. Comments should be addressed to the board and be limited to items on the agenda. No complaints, accusations, or name calling regarding personnel will be allowed during this public discussion time. A time limit of 3 minutes will be given. If more than one person is represented for a group, only one spokesperson will be heard. It is expected that professionalism and courtesy is displayed at all times during the public comments portion of this meeting. So it's about 10:37. We'll run up if anybody has anything to say, we'll go up until about 11, maybe a little bit after. If anybody would like to come up and speak at this time. Mr. Creech?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you doing?
Joel Creech, 1409 Ironwood here in Marion. I just want to touch on the record retention digitalization. And I know that's a lot of money, but let's just, I want to reiterate why I said this earlier at another meeting. Let's just fix it. And really make sure that we have a plan, not just to bring those digitized, but the record retention of them, the storage, the sorting, that we have an area already planned out, and that we incorporate it in, when we digitize them, where the storage location of them is for easy access in case you have to go get the originals. I've dealt with record retain for legal processes, and that can be a real problem when they want the originals. So I just, when you ask them to, if they have it in their budget, I don't want to script that part. Maybe they could put the burden of having that part of it already planned out, so when the records come back, they're right, they're in this right spot, and we actually just fix it and really make it going forward that you can pull it up, whatever record you're looking for, and really find the original where it should be added and kept safely. So that's all. I just want to make sure that we look at the whole scope of not just putting those records in retention on digitizing them. Okay, I hope that makes sense.
It did. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Anybody else? Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Karen Creech, and I live with Arlington, Minnesota.
Bless your heart.
But I have a question about, you just talked about the meeting with the jail and laying out the scope and stuff. And I know overcrowding is one of the biggest issues. Are we going to address the overcrowding in the space you're going to lay out? Is there going to be some kind of auxiliary space reserved for when, since right now overcrowding seems to be the rule, not the exception. So until it becomes the exception, is there a way that you could have since you're planning it out anyway, an extra area that's just going to be reserved for when you have the overcrowding to save having the county spend, I believe Sheriff Garcia said at one of the breakfasts, like $70,000 a month or something like that to transport these inmates to another county to house them temporarily. If we took all that money we're spending and potentially endangering the inmate or the deputy, and then keeping him from being able to do the work he really is trained to do instead of being a bus driver. If we plan in advance, if you're going to have a new jail anyway, if you plan in advance, like an auxiliary area, maybe even a separate building on the same grounds or something, for space, not to be utilized in an everyday capacity, but just when the overcrowding occurs, then you might save some money and not have to transport people out. If you make allowances for that. There's no way to judge how many inmates you're going to have. And you can't expedite, as Mr. Wright points out, you can't expedite the judicial system at all. So if we plan it, and then maybe if you make it large enough, when we aren't in an overcrowded situation and it's the exception, not the norm, then the building could be utilized for other things like training or the Red Cross, or heaven forbid, if we ever have to have another mass vaccination for the county or something. Could have one place, or even emergencies if the tornado came through, could have one central headquarters or something. I mean, maybe you could cross it to adjust the money.
Yeah.
Or renovate an existing building if that's more practical, because if you count up all the money we're spending to transport them, you could renovate another building or add to that. I just wondered if that's being considered to kind of guesstimate how much extra, but keep it in reserve.
Yeah.
And not use it.
Well,
That's a suggestion.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for that. And that's what we're hoping to. We haven't, to be clear, we haven't decided on a new jail. What we're hoping is, because our current jail is, the reason we're looking into this and have to do something is our current jail is not only overcrowded, but it's pretty dilapidated. It's deteriorating pretty quick. So we haven't necessarily decided on a new jail. What we're trying to get to is look for solutions to correct the problem. And a new jail is obviously, that's one of the options, rehabilitating or using some buildings and maybe surrounding that with a new pod system. I don't want to get too deep into it because number one, I don't know a whole lot about building new jails, but that's what we're interviewing these two companies so that when we select the one, they're the ones that's going to come in and say, all right, we've researched this. Here's what we can offer. Here's the solution that we can offer. And that might be, that might be a new jail. Here's the solution that we can offer to take care of the overcrowding problem. And then also obviously the deteriorating conditions of the jail. So this company, that's what they're going to do. And hopefully they're going to say, here's the solution. Here's how much it's going to cost. And then it's up to, us and the county council to decide if that's the road we want to go down. So I felt like I was kind of like, I feel like I went the long way to answer your question. I don't know if I did or not, Mrs. Creech, but.
I just, you got to address it. If we're going to have bills, we got to address it.
Yeah.
You should. Wow.
Yeah, the overcrowding and the condition of the jails. That's why we're here. That's why we're at the in the situation that we are. So, do you guys have anything to add on that or?
Comment on that.
Yep.
If I could, I still live at the same place. With her. Yeah, with her. I'm glad to hear that you're looking for a plan that encompasses everything, because I think, in the public, out, just the normal people out in the public, I'm just telling you what the perception is, they want a whole new jail, and then the question is, well, if you add this many more rooms, what keeps it from overcrowding again? So I think somehow, if you can get the communication out there, that you're looking at a total inclusive plan to deal with not only just building a new jail with more capacity, that you're looking, that this also includes solutions to that, and possibly even on the short term, and maybe kind of similar to what Karen said, but if you could look at maybe a holding or temporary way, because a lot of the people, from what I understand from Sheriff Garcia, is just in a holding capacity, waiting on even they're being adjudicated. Is there a way to separate those from the people that really need to be incarcerated and have a processing holding center, keep them separate? Maybe they already do, but that's not what was kind of how it was explained to me. But if you could do that and maybe look at that, because the new jail's going to take a while to build anyhow. So if you're really looking for maybe some solutions, really look at how that works, and if there truly is mental health, who decides who's a mental health person and who's not? Is it the state? Is it, and that's the kind of things that I think if you could kind of like look at, and maybe the new jail and the old jail is the same solution, because maybe the new jail could be where you have all the prisoners, and the old jail could be fixed up enough now that it could incorporate a processing center in the future for overcrowding. So maybe instead of just totally giving up on the old jail, money we put into it now can be a future investment for that vision of being like a processing center. And then the other one is for the people that really need it. And that's just something that I think maybe could be considered. So
We're going to look at all options, Mr. Creech. I can assure you. So thank you. Anybody else?
May I just add one other thing in response? I'm Pam Harris, the county clerk, response to Mr. Creech's thought a moment ago, and I appreciate that. Thank you. He understands the importance of these documents. But these are documents in the record center that are many of them well over 100 years old. As we speak, there's 100 years of deterioration on those documents. Every time a staff member goes over and handles them, touches them, reads through them, copies them, there's more damage, more deterioration. If we think, beyond ourselves, 100 years down the road, we're concerned that those documents will be well preserved for them, that they can see what has taken place. And as far as organized, it's a packed full room, but it is fairly organized as best we can. But I just wanted to add that thought, and I know you have thought about that, but I just needed to say it. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Mrs. Harris, I didn't see it because of the post there. So I think Mr. Creech brings up a very valid point. When it comes to, as they actually do the scanning and things like that, is there a way to even make it even more, I don't want to say organized than what it is today? Because I'm understanding, he was talking about having to seal over boxes and this and that. And so is there a plan for that? And where is that plan? Where are you planning on doing that?
that we're going to bring those documents back. They will not be destroyed. And we're going to put them in that same space that we already have. And my chief deputy knows that inside and out. And as we get those completed in stages, it will be in stages, but they will be organized properly.
Okay.
So that when we do need to go over and pick up a book, they'll be easily found, which Brenda, to be honest, she knows that room inside and out, and when she makes a trip over there, she's pretty quick, because she knows where everything is.
Okay. So she's good at it.
Yeah.
My question now, because again, we never know about day to day, right?
Like this, what we just said,
Right.
future people.
Right, and so what's the plan to really get it, I would call it really sustainability when it comes to, somebody not going and just moving a box over here, then all of a sudden it's out of place and stuff.
We're formalizing that plan. Right now, when something is moved to get to something underneath it, it's moved back. But to be honest with you, we were just kind of concentrating on the digitizing, but yeah, Brenda does have, because like I said, she's 22 years, I believe, in the office. She's got ideas, and I know, I forget the gentleman's name who was here before I was. I'm sorry, his name's gone, but he had started organizing it as well, and so he's had a good platform or foundation for us to kind of help build upon. I forget Bonnie Cartwright's.
Mark Florence?
Mark Florence.
No, it wasn't Mark, it was someone that worked, I believe, with him. I believe it's Bonnie Cartwright's brother, yes, thank you, Dave Cartwright. And he since got married and moved away, so, but yeah, so I'm sorry, I just wanted to add, thank you, sir. Is there anything else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Just one point on that. My biggest thing is, there's probably a lot of people very familiar with that room, but just a novice person that get hired down in the future, could you not make sure that the file, the location is in when you pull the digitalized thing? That's my big thing, I'm sorry.
Good morning.
Hi, Linda Morgan, I'm from Upland. Just to throw out some thoughts, it sounds like the older 100-year-old records really need to be in a climate control area like a museum. And I don't know if anybody's thought about that as far as keeping those records from disintegrating, basically. And I don't know if the library is even an option, or do you want to keep all the records in one place down the road? So anyway, I wanted to bring that up. And I think we talked before on the jail about the different programs that might be available to keep people out of the jail system, as like the mental health and addictions and so on. Is there any one entity that is taking charge of seeing that those things happen? Is that?
Yeah, I mean, sheriff, that'd be the sheriff, yeah. As far as speaking for the commissioners, we're just in charge of the buildings, so.
Yeah, okay. I keep forgetting some of that.
Yeah, that's okay. We forget sometimes too, so.
Thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Anybody else? All right. right, the next commissioner meeting will be Monday, July 15th, and we are in recess. Thank you.